Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about seed yam farming. But the type of seed yam farming we are going to be talking about is a little different from what you know usually. We are going to be looking at seed yam farming in sacks. I know you know about farming yams in sack. It has really come to stay. It's no longer something that is so new. But have you considered seed yam farming specifically in sacks? This is what this video is all about today. I'm going to be giving you my 5 reasons why I think you should consider farming seed yams in 2024 in sacks. But I want to assure you that the last 2 points I'm going to raise will get you thinking. So sit back while we'll delve into this video today. My first major reason of considering seed yams in sacks is the fact that I need far less space compared to farming Yam-in-sacks. Now, I want you to understand something that you shouldn't really consider yourself so successful a yam farmer until you start producing your own seed. Yes, and if you're already farming Yam-in-sacks, take it a step further to start considering farming seed yams specifically in sacks. And that is what we are going to be looking at. Now, if you see these sacks that are here, you can imagine how small they are. And the space that they are occupying is far less compared to the ones that ideally, the ones for yams. You know, of course, you need large bags to be able to get very large tubers. But for seed yams, you don't really need that. What you need is just an average amount of space. You can churn out as much seed yams as you can. Now, for this sack, some of them, you have about 2, you can even get up to about 3 or even 4 seeds planted in them in order for you to get your seed yam. So you can see that it helps us to maximize space even more. There are several ways to plant seed yams actually in sacks. That will be a discussion in another video. That will be a follow-up to this. And you will understand the reason why I said the issue of maximizing space is something that endears me to farming seed yams in sacks. So for yams, it helps to maximize space compared to heaps. But for even seed yams, it helps to maximize space even more compared to farming yams in sacks. My number 2 point is the fact that, especially for the ones I plant in little bags like this, it's very easy for me to irrigate. I use less amount of water and I achieve the purpose of saturating the sacks easily. For example, this is about, let's say, 10 liters of water. And look at my small bags. So I can easily just use these 10 liters of water to irrigate up to about 3 or even 4 of my little sacks. And at the end, I would have achieved my purpose. Because they are very small, so as you can see, the water easily gets everywhere. Unlike when you have very large sacks. When you have very large sacks, for example, if you have very large sack and you want to irrigate, you can use up to about 2 or 3 of these. And that is very, to a very large extent, laborious. For me, getting water into my sacks for seed yams, especially this type of sack, is very easy. So irrigation is very easy. Now, you might be wondering why I mentioned irrigation. For everyone that grow yam in sack, you already know that one of the most challenging parts of growing yams in sack is irrigating your sacks. That even during the rainy season, you still have to irrigate. So for this, it is very easy for me to quickly irrigate. That's my point number 2. My number 3 point is that it is very easy for me to stake my seed yams in sacks. And I'll give you the reason for that. You know, they are seed yams. Their vines are not going to be that weighty. So the system that I use in staking seed yams in sacks is basically the trellis system. For example, what you can see here now, I have about 20 sacks in here. And those 20 sacks, I only just have two staking sticks. And they are not so tall like you have in maybe Yam-in-sacks for growing where yam, because you want to grow large tubers. For seed yams, my interest is not so much on growing large tubers because they are basically still seeds anyway. If I can get anything 200 gram, between 200 gram and about 800 gram for my certified seed yam, I'm good. So anything I get from the sack of seed yam is called seed yam. It's either it's a smaller size, that will be a foundational seed yam, for another one that will be a certified seed yam, as it were. There are different names by the expert. I'm not an expert. I learn from them. So I want you to understand that staking is easy. Now, you can just get sticks that are not as tall. I'm over 6 feet tall, and so this one is slightly taller than me. Even if it is not as tall as this, you can just get something like this, maybe 5 feet. All you need to do is just get the vines off the bag so that at least they can spread well and really do very, very well. I have two here now, taking about 20 sacks. And these 20 sacks, I have up to about 40 inside this sack because I just planted two here. But in some other cases, I plant up to about 3 or even 4, as you will see later or even in subsequent videos. So take note. Staking is easy, and you know that staking is a major part of yam farming, and it's a part that is very, in quote, cumbersome for some people and is laborious. I use less materials and I still achieve my aim. So staking is very easy for me. Guys, I'm excited about this number 4 points because it's something I know will interest you, as well as the number 5. My number 4 point is that seed yam in sack farming, that is farming seed yams in sacks, is very cheap to set up. It's cheap to set up relative to farming ware yams in sacks. And I'm going to be giving you some few reasons why I said so. Now, we have talked about the issue of space. But when we talk about the production cost of setting up seed yams in sack, remember, one major thing you should be looking at, you will normally consider in Yam-in-sack, is getting those sacks. That's where you spend money. And again, we'll talk about filling the sacks. Sometimes you have to even buy soil and all that, compared to what you are going to gather. Even sometimes, after all you have done, some people still get tubers that are not so large, and they could be disappointed when it comes to the issue of getting stuff out of the sack for ware yam. For me, with something like this, okay, this is a sack. Ideally, you say we use this and get 1 tuber, 1 ware yam out of it. At most, if you are too lucky, you get 2. It depends on probably what you planted and the content of your sack. But let me tell you, let me shock you here, that if you are farming seed yams in sack, you can get up to about 6 to 8 seed yams from this. What I mean by that is, you can get something like this. This is an average size seed yam. It's about 250 to about 300 grams. This is just an average size seed yam. You can get something like this up to about 6 or even 8, depending on how many you planted in this sack. Now, you might be wondering how that will be. Don't worry, we're going to show a video of how you can plant in this sack and you get up to about 6 or 8. That's just by the wayside. Now, if you look at what you actually planted, These are mainly the foundational seeds. These are just mini tubers. They don't weigh more than about 100, 150, maximum 150 or even far less. Let's say between 80 to 150 if it is too big. These are the things you plant. And apart from this, you can also plant your mini set. Now, what is the cost of this? Let's really look at it. When I bought some of these I got them from my farm now, from harvest. But if you want to buy, when I went to the market to try to buy them, some of them I bought for 80 naira, some 50 naira. But there was even a time it was a little bit now expensive, 100 naira and thereabout. Depends on when you are buying in the market. If there's scarcity, it will be expensive. But if you have plenty of them, you can even still have the same thing you buy for 15 naira. Let's say on the average, I bought for 80 naira. If you consider that it's very, very small, if I'm going to buy this one now, 80 naira, let's say I buy five will be about 400 naira. That 400 naira is the price of an average seedyam. So you are getting 5 of this for the same price of the same other seedyam you plant and get where. So if I'm able to plant this, I might be very, very lucky. It depends. I'll get something like this. This is relatively still small. Sometimes you can plant this. Depends on how you treat your stuff. You can get something as big as this. This one is about, let's say, 350 grams. If you are still very, very lucky, you can get something this big from planting something like this. Now, if you are going to sell this one in the market, trust me, it will not be less than 500 naira as at now. So you can imagine planting 5 of these or 6 of these in a sack. And at the end, if you are lucky, you get stuff like this that you sell for, 500 naira. Let's say worst case scenario is sell for 400 naira. This one, because for every one of these, you get relatively this size if you treat your bags very, very well. So you can now see that the cost of setting this up for seedyams, as in seedyam-in-sack, compared to yam-in-sack is far cheaper because you use less amount of staking, you use less amount of irrigation. Everything is far, far less compared to what you are going to get from it. And let me also let you understand something. That's what's going to lead me to my number 5 point, which is, it is very, very possible that you make this seedyam-in-sack a commercial venture, so to speak, because everything about it is money. You are not really going to farm seedyam-in-sack so that you can eat it. No. So my number 5 point is that you can make seedyam-in-sack a commercial venture, which is what I encourage. It is what I'm encouraging everyone. If you are a yam farmer, you farm yam-in-sack, even those that farm yam in heap, start considering growing seedyams in sacks. For those of you who plant yam in heap, you can put this small sack in between heaps. But for those of you who don't even want to talk about heap, you want to do sack, make sure you start considering yam-in-sack for seedyams. It's very, very important you do that, because at the end, you are going to gain quite a lot. You can combine both yam-in-sack and seedyam-in-sack. That is my goal for everyone listening to me right now. If you are even somebody, you are a young person and you are looking for something to do, you are looking for a job, with 10,000 naira to 15,000 naira, you can set up your seedyam-in-sack. Yes, it's as easy as that. And after 5 to 6 months, trust me, you will start getting returns from it. Now, I'm going to be stopping this video here, but there is a video I'm going to do soon. I want you to watch out for it. Depending on when you are watching this video, it might even have been out. I want to demonstrate how you can plant seedyams in sack. There are about 5 ways or thereabout that I'm going to demonstrate in that particular video. If you have not subscribed, this is the time to do so that you'll be able to maximize the knowledge that we are going to give in that video. We have posted several other videos. Check our playlist and you will be able to get a lot of information. But watch out for that next video. Thank you and God bless.